During the Tournament of Power, there was a scene where Frieza looked at the Omni King in almost a way of admiration. This is a kind of power that Frieza would dream of, and when he saw the Omni King, someone possessing that level, an omnipotent presence throughout the multiverse, having all the power you could ever want, that really intrigued Frieza, and he said something along the lines of, "One day, I will overthrow the Omni King." That was one of the most interesting lines to come out of the Tournament of Power because it gave a lot of speculation as to what would Frieza be like as the Omni King? Would everyone just die? What would he do if he was the one in true control of the multiverse? It would be almost impossible to overthrow someone like the Omni King. You would have to be at least on his level of power, and from what we've seen, no one even comes close. So that's probably why we haven't seen it attempted in the main series, but that hasn't stopped fans from creating their own stories about what would happen if Frieza truly did overcome the Omni King, or confronted the Omni King. This is a very short story called Frieza's Trick, and it takes place in a world where Frieza does actually confront the two Zenos. The whole idea behind this is that Frieza's been getting up to some mischief in the universe, and the Omni Kings are basically just going to warn him that if he doesn't calm down a little bit, they're going to have to erase him. So Frieza comes face to face with the two Omni Kings, and he slices one of them straight in the neck, catching him completely off guard. The first Omni King basically just dies. Frieza was able to do this not entirely because of his own power, but because of this blade that he has equipped to his hand. This is called the Divine Blade, and apparently in this story, it's meant for taking down Omni King type characters. This makes the other Omni King very mad, and he says, "Your existence ends here." This blade was made by the first ever angel who sat at the side of the Omni King. As his first ever supervisor, it was used as a way to mainly control him. It turns out Frieza got his hands on it, and that's his main method of taking down the two Omni Kings. On Earth the very next day, Goku and Vegeta are fighting in their Super Saiyan Blue forms when all of a sudden Beerus and Whis show up. Whis tells Goku and Vegeta that Frieza has somehow managed to destroy the Omni Kings and the Grand Priest. We're going to need both of your help to take him down. So it's kind of interesting because the Omni King had already been killed off and there's no way of bringing him back. They decide to summon the dragon, and very hesitantly, both Beerus and Whis decide the only way to solve this problem is to go back in time and stop Frieza before it even does this. That's the way they decide to go forward. So when Frieza is confronted by the two Zenos, this time Vegeta, Goku, Beerus and Whis all show up at once. The Omni King looks very confused by this. He says, "What are you doing here without permission?" Frieza catches onto this very fast, and he doesn't even hesitate. Straight away he wipes out only one of the Omni Kings. But then Goku and Vegeta power up into Super Saiyan Blue, and somehow Goku and Vegeta are able to defend Frieza against the Omni King better than the angels or even Zeno himself. This divine blade on his arm made him almost indestructible against gods, but when Goku and Vegeta showed up, there's nothing Frieza could do. They capture Frieza, and Beerus, as the Universe 7 God of Destruction, has no choice but to Hakai him out of existence. Frieza is then sent back to Hell for the 5th time, where he meets up with Cell, and he still wants to get his revenge, but in this story, he doesn't actually gain the power of the Omni King, he only confronted them. Later on in the story, the Grand Priest and Omni King thank Goku and Vegeta for saving him. However, since they use time travel, they're not very happy with him, and they're deciding to revolutionize the way they oversee the multiverse, I guess. So the story then goes and ends in a completely different direction to Frieza becoming the next Omni King, but the concept and idea are very real, and it's all because of what Frieza said in the Tournament of Power. Anyway, that was the story of Frieza attempting to overthrow and overcome the Omni King and the Grand Priest.